Hello everyone, welcome to the front row seat. Come along on a walk and ponder. I was thinking about something that I thought was really interesting, and you don't really know exactly what changes are happening as you're going through it. It's just kind of, you get down the road a little bit, then you can kind of see it a little bit better. And I was thinking about how I think we're all kind of seeing how much our cultures and the way we do things, the way everything is, since these big changes with the internet coming in and us going into this new age of the digital age or information age. We went through the industrial age, and when that first came in, they had a lot to learn. They had a lot of stuff they had to deal with and figure it out, and they figured out that you can't chain the kids to the machines and make them do stuff like that. It was wrong and hurt the kids and all of that good stuff. So they had to learn about each age. And now that we're a little bit on down the road in this internet information digital age, we're kind of seeing the cracks in it. And what I kind of see is it is showing us the cracks in ourselves. It's showing us just how we really are and how we can, tend to be. We see things, with people saying things online that they wouldn't say to your face ever, and just being unkind. So it's almost like these things that have been in us humans all this time, is almost like it's all just floating to the surface, and it can be seen now. I think it's always been there. I think that it's just been because it wasn't large groups of people talking to other groups of people. We didn't have that, so we didn't have all this outlet and all these new things coming in. So as I was thinking about I went this way to give them a chance. I have to go back this way. A cute little family. So I don't think that it's something new. I think that everything that's happening everywhere is just kind of a result from what we have access to now, the information we have access to now that we never did before. And as everything has a good and a bad side. And the good side is we have access to information now that we never had access to before. So we can get to information that can be helpful or harmful. And I've always been interested in healing, self-awareness, learning about who you are, know thyself, right? And moving in those directions, because I saw in my culture that we were all just kind of stuck in a way of thinking that wasn't helpful to anyone. And so through all these changes and with the internet and all that, now what I'm starting to see is a lot of people are starting to look around and go, oh, yeah, maybe this is some kind of a computer. Maybe this is, about me. Maybe I am causing that. But with that understanding, well, maybe I can do something about it, And I started working on myself a while back, and now I know a few people who are actively working on themselves and trying to learn, and we're all talking about it and helping each other up out of the muck. And I wanted to point to one thing as you start moving forward in this progression of knowing yourself and then learning how to evolve yourself into the best version of you as you go along, that you're not going to see the progress. You're not going to see it because this inner work, it does reflect out in your reality, but it takes a minute and it takes a little while, and because it takes time, you're not going to see the results of the really hard intensive work you've done for a while. It takes a minute. It would be like sitting there, watching a tree that's growing all the time, right? Like that tree there. See, it's growing all the time. But I could sit here all day and not see anything happening. It would look like nothing's happening. And I felt that same way. It's like I'm doing all this work. Same things keep happening to this and that, and it gets frustrating. And that's what happened to me in the early stages of it. And until later on, I went, oh, wait a minute. Things in my world are shifting. I'm becoming a more positive person, but you don't see it. So somebody else would have to tell you for you to be able to see it as much. So don't get discouraged, because even if you're looking at this stuff and you realize that it's you and you're the one that's making your reality the way it is, when you do some of the work, you're not going to see the positive impacts that you're having on yourself and everybody around you. Because even when you become aware of this, there's going to be a lot of things that you kind of back away from because you see it as harmful to other people and yourself, and you're just going to quit doing those things, which is going to help everybody around you. And a good thing that you can do is you can talk to people and ask them, ask them, this is what I'm doing, and I just wanted to ask you, is it easier to be around me? And just see. But just, my message is just don't give up. Keep going. You're getting somewhere. And a lot of times, really when you're really getting somewhere, boy, that ego will jump up and tell you to quit it, and it just gets worse and you feel worse. But see, when that happens, that means you're right there. That means you're addressing the thing. And then the ego is just blowing itself up because it wants to survive. It wants to be in control of you. But it's not you. It's just like a protector of you. And confronting that and doing all that, it feels really uncomfortable, because as you really get close to the problem, getting close to, getting in there and ripping them fears out by the ears, well, that's when it's going to fight back. And that's when it's going to blow itself up. But it's just like a balloon puffing itself up. Be very, very afraid. But in reality, it can't do anything. And you just keep going. It'll puff up, keep going, move forward, and then you'll see that starts, it's like, it's like the balloon. You just take the cork out of it and it just deflates and goes away. And then another thing that I noticed was I started feeling a little bit bored here and there. But see, here's the thing. When you're in panic mode all the time, you're running in constant fight-flight, you've got this steady stream of adrenaline. And we like adrenaline. We like it, It's like another source of energy, but it's like not a clean source of energy. Like getting out and walking or doing other things that brings you energy, working on, grounding your chi energy out, doing things that bring you energy instead of taking it away. So you dump the adrenaline, you dump the fight flight, then you get into this phase where you just kind of feel blah. Like, oh well, it's whatever. And it kind of feels like you're a little like a drift in the ocean. You don't really know which way or what. But see, again, I think that's another thing that I went through when I was coming out of one way of thinking and one way of perceiving the world into another. There's a space between there where you're stepping out of one and then you're moving your foot to step into the other one. You're in between. And so it's very disorienting when you're there, because it all of those, landmarks that you knew and all of those things, well, it's all changing, and it's not the same as it was before. It kind of felt like something I need to be doing, but it's really not. All I really needed to do was to relax and let the growth and let the process happen. Because you get into the little bit bored, because the reason you're bored is because you're coming out of that constant panic, fight, flight. It's not that you're bored, it's that you've gone from fight, flight into rest, digest. And when I went into that for the first time, I'd never been there before, and I thought, I didn't know what that feeling was. Like, am I depressed? What is going on? But I wasn't depressed. I just never had my fight flight turned down low enough to where it wasn't in control of always having to be on the go and doing. So yeah, there's just a few tricks, and I think that as we move further along on the road, moving into the digital age, it's going to just get... Shit. It's just going to get... Sorry. Boo. It's just going to get a little more weird before it gets better. It's just going to get weirder and weirder. But then, it's like a pendulum. Then it's going to swing back kind of to the middle. Just give it a minute. Because people don't change that much overnight. And even though it looks like the world has changed immensely, it hasn't. People still do the same things. People still think about the same thing. We just have more information. That's all it is. But we have not all changed all that much. But I think as those changes start taking hold and we start realizing what this place really is, then the changes are going to start happening faster. And then as more and more people understand what's at play here, then more and more people will see that going in and knowing ourselves is the way out. Because each person does that work and looks in that mirror, well, that's where we have real power at. That's where we can really do something. Because out here in this, we just really don't have that much power. It's just kind of the way it works. So anyway, that's what I wanted to say. Just wanted to pop on here and mention that. And I'm going to talk more about the changes due to the internet. I'll have a talk on that next. So y'all have a good day, and much love.